Good morning, Chicago. Good to see everyone here. I think we had a great night last night. It's really what this conference is all about. One of education. I mean, we have the greatest bunch of companies that we have ever assembled here. All kinds of stories. They're very active in the business. And we have the greatest bunch of speakers that we have ever assembled. And the markets are better for us. Basically, the industry, the resource industry, basically has come out about a 15-year depression. The market took care of itself because the companies that couldn't raise money, they went out of business. So the market's taking care of the companies really that are worth buying now or taking a position in. The cream of the crop is left. When I got into business in the 70s, I bought a South African company. Went from pennies to $24. Bought a lot of it. It's the first stock I ever bought. And it was Consolidated Modderfontein. It was a South African. Eric, and on our website, Eric and I visited that mine. But what I'm getting to now, that mine is shut down. Most of the deep rock mines in South Africa have shut down. Once you close a deep rock mine, you can never open it again. There's rock bursts and everything. So at the time I bought that stock, there were about 100 South Africans doing business. Now there's only about 7. So we had a consolidation of the industry. It used to be you can get a mine in production in 10 years. Now it takes 15. So that's all bullish for us because the industry, we're now at the time to be long-term, to take positions in these kind of companies, and we have some other companies here that have some dynamic stories. You heard a lot of them yesterday, you hear some more today. We're at the time where, as you can see, we don't have anybody here from the Uber generation. So the people last night were sort of Uberized. Do you know why there's a blood shortage in this country? Because the Uber generation doesn't donate blood. So isn't that wonderful? You know, they want to buy Bitcoin, you know, which they think is the new gold. They've already ruined Robinhood. Stock's lost 85% of its value. You know, when they're running ads on TV that you can have $5 and get Bitcoin, the money's already been made in those positions. The big money's already been. Now you want to trade it? Fine. I think you can trade the stuff. If you want a little bit, a little of that, but you know, you're going to have a lot more volatility in the market, you know. But we're at a time now where the companies that are here are going to be more in favor, and they're going to start. People are going to start accumulating because there's been billions of dollars made in this market. It's got to go somewhere. It's got to find a home, and it's for us right now. And this is happening. The Fed cannot control inflation. I'm just telling you. Remember that. The Fed cannot control inflation. Inflation is going a lot higher. They're going to try. It's not going to work this time. We wanted globalization. You just can't stop it. You know. About a year ago, or about 10 months ago, President Biden said any economist that was saying that we're going to have higher inflation is not a reputable economist. It's a fact. I heard him say it on TV. So he said a lot of other things too. But you know, we're going to see what happens. I mean, I would want to be president. Who would want to be president anyway? You know, he got a tiger by the tail. I had a commodity trader that I knew real well. I always asked him, okay, what do you look at? And we got inflation now, but I said, what do you look at? He says, I look at the union contracts. That's what I watch. And you know, the unions have been out of favor for 20 years. Not anymore, buddy. Not with the current administration in. In fact, Biden's going to be here for a union convention this week. You know, and he's inviting some of these people that are. I would not own Starbucks for all the tea in China. They're going to, you know, everybody that worked there voted for Bernie Sanders. You know, they hired all these people, but now the unions are going to them and said, you know what? Your wages are not keeping up with inflation. And you sit there and say, oh, my God. They had 27 Starbucks companies reviewing going into the union. 25 of the 27 approved it. So, you don't want to own Starbucks. You know, they're under heavy pressure. You want to own companies like Peloton. You want to own these things, you know. I mean, there's a saying out there a long time ago, you know, if you can't grow it, you got to mine it. I know I've seen that before. I said that before, but you got to remember that. Most people don't understand that, what I just said. You know, and if you like Bitcoin, one of the greatest investors of all time, Warren Buffett, came out 2 weeks ago, and his partner, said, you know, I wish it wasn't invented. And they came out, you know, and everybody just sort of forgot it. But I think that's one reason why there's some weakness in the market now, because of that. We'll see more volatility. And I'm not totally bearish on the market. I think the money will come here. It will buy dollars, because this is looking like the only place to put money in the entire world right now. So you're going to see it. So I'm going to leave you with a couple final things and to give you an idea that may save your life. Currently, my wife's not here. She had a bone marrow operation 6 months ago. Ryan, my younger son, donated his DNA to her. She's doing well. It's been 6 months since the operation, and she's healthy. We've been pretty busy. One of my grandsons, who's a sophomore, is a #2 rated wrestler in the state of Indiana. So it's been keeping us a lot of busy. In fact, he's wrestling tomorrow. I'm going to miss his match. But there's things going on in the marketplace. I'm going to leave you with a couple things that may save your life, okay? One, colloidal silver. This kills almost every major virus in the world. It saved my wife's life, more or less, with her leukemia. I had a buddy. He was in Tanzania. He came down with, malaria. I was sitting over here, and he was dying. His wife flew to Tanzania. He was dying. We shipped him a half a case of this stuff. Cost a small fortune. He started drinking it in the hospital. 2 weeks later, he walked out of the hospital. You know what the doctor said to him? He said, "You're the first gringo in history that had a level 5 leukemia, a level 5 malaria, that walked out of this hospital." So this fights all viruses. It strengthens your system, and it works. There's countless studies about this. A lot of people don't like it because it's organic, but it works. Number 2, your second most investment ought to be a firearm. You may not be able to buy them before long, So do you have to be fancy? No. I mean, just buy a single-shot shotgun. Just get a shotgun, put some double on it, and stick it in your closet, and hope you don't need a damn thing. My brothers one lives downtown Chicago. I gave one for Christmas. We can't own those things. I said, put in your closet, leave it there, don't tell nobody. It could save your life, So you know that. Now, if you wonder what I look at from day to day, this is the gospel for me. You guys don't look at that, but it's a Northern Miner. I live by it. You can see every major merger that's going on. A lot of the companies that are here have been in this program the last two or three months. The story's going on, and there's a lot of money flowing in right now. There's tons of mergers going on. So you can read, I get the hard copy because I'm sort of an old guy and like to read everything, but there's things there in the back pages. It gives you the most increased short positions in the stocks. It gives you the most active stocks on all the exchanges. So you get a pretty good idea of what's going on in the marketplace, And you got to stay important. When you look at these companies, as you're going to see, as you've seen yesterday, we had some great companies here last night. We had a great panel, but we got some great stories too. And that's what this show conference is all about. It's the companies. It's companies. Get to know the management. All these guys you can talk to directly. You can't call the president of GM, talk to them. These guys will spend the time with you. They'll talk to you. They'll tell you. You can spend some time and do your homework. Some you're not going to like. That's always normal. We got some great success stories out of here. You know that. Guys have hit some home runs out of here, and we're going to have more. We're going to have more because the companies now that we have here are the best in the business at what they do. They are time. You got to look at them because you buy these stocks for the management, and you buy these companies for the leverage. Remember that leverage. It's one of the last places you can get a long-term contract on these guys that don't expire. You have a tremendous amount of leverage. You're buying these stocks at a discount right now anyway, and you know they're tremendously underpriced. So don't forget the colloidal silver. You can buy this at GNC. They serve some other kind. There are different grades too. It's about 23 bucks a bottle. Clifton Mining makes this. They've been on our show before. This is one of their subsidiaries. But you know, what would you do? Well, if you're getting ready to go to the hospital for normal, I mean, I know people have gone in for a knee job and died of sepsis. You know, like it happens. So if you're getting ready, maybe go into operation, get a couple bottles of this and start drinking some a month before. You know, I guarantee you won't have it. And I've taken this thing. My mother had sepsis when she was in the hospital. I took a couple bottles in. You know, doctor came in and says, "Your sepsis is gone." I didn't tell him I was giving her this stuff. You know, I mean, you know, like, whew, you know, doctors don't like this. Okay, so you know, they don't like the natural stuff. But let me just tell you, the natural stuff works. It really does, and it's something to think about, and it's worth doing something. I know some guys that drink some of this stuff every day. It's tasteless, you know, but you know, and it's made of silver, and it works. You know, you ever heard the saying, "Born with a silver spoon in your mouth"? That's where the saying came from. In the old days, when they traveled out west in the wagons, they would put a silver coin in the water bucket. You know, and it worked. You know, people don't talk about it now, but it works. So, I think am I finished? Anyway, all this stuff today, yesterday night will be on our website. You know, if you got time, you could bring it up and look at it. I'm really glad to see everybody here. It's a great day outside. If me and Eric weren't here, we'd probably be fishing. So, but that's okay. And you know, great day today. You know, in the Midwest, you don't see the sun too often. You know, it's like, so when you do have it, you got to go like, look, what's that up in the sky? It's the sun. It's the sun. Oh, that's what it looks like. So, welcome to everyone. I hope you enjoyed today. We got a lot of programs lined up, and like I said, Eric and I and Radez family, we're glad to see you here, and we're back in the move again. We're glad to see you here again, and we'll be doing this again in November out west at the Marriott. Thanks for coming.